Bro, my cousin Johnny.
But did he die?
Did he die though?
Nah, he ain't die.
But my cousin Johnny, right? And I'm an import type of guy. I don't really do American Muscle, but my first intro to American Muscle, my favorite American Muscle is Grand National. Buick Grand National, yo.
Grand Nationals.
My
Granddaddy.
My cousin Johnny, ever since I was a young boy, that's all he had, bro. He had one of the fastest Grand Nationals, bro. Like and my uncle, he had a Saline Cobra.
So you know my life.
Yeah.
Like when I be saying that, niggas be looking at him like, no, you don't understand. Like my uncle and my dad been cutting hair since they was 12 years old. Like they had a couple of eyes. Like they was able to get some toys and they made them what they wanted them.
My uncle was one of them, you know what I mean, buy it, not build it. He bought that Saline Cobra and was like, Johnny, come on down here. I got something for you. Got the Saline Cobra. He said, let me pull the Grand National out. We talking about a V6 twin turbo, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, he opened that Grand National up and blew it like. And granted, my uncle, he got off the line first, ass everywhere, bro. My cousin Johnny blew the doors off that joint. I was like, see, it's not the car, it's the driver, bro.
Every time. And I watch them shows on TV where they be drag racing and shit. Like, it's always about the driver.
Right.
I mean, the car has to be tuned up. It has to be where it's supposed to be, but once you put us next to each other, it's about what you about to do.
It's about what I'm about to do, bro.
How you gonna hit that light?
You see people trying to burn out, and you know, and this is the biggest thing for me, right? People be like, yeah, I know how to whip the Hellcat. Okay.
They whip themselves.
I'm like, bro, first of all, that's like 800 horses with like 750 feet-pounds of torque.
They whip themselves.
All you gotta do is tap the gas, and that car has no ass, bro.
You could total that car trying to get out of a parking spot if you don't know what it is.
Yeah, bro. I was like,
it's just ridiculous.
I was like, it's a car. I was like, it's a muscle. I was like, it's 800 horses with a sports tuned suspension. All you can do donuts in that joint like this.
You ever lifted your foot off a brake and the car already starts screeching?
Yeah.
Skirt. Yeah. That's dad.
That's a lot of torque.
That's
a lot of torque, bro. I'm like, y'all niggas think you can drive because you have a car that's super fast. I was like, me and that little, you know what I mean, my little TSX. I was like, I outmaneuver BMWs, Hellcats. I was like, I'm not faster than them. I said, but I can outmaneuver them. I done had a couple of them joints try to play cat and mouse on 495. And I got you by like 8 car lengths because you think you got all that speed, but see, my car is like a mouse. You know what I'm saying?
That's why it surprised me when you said BMWs, because I'm like, BMWs and the Subaru rally joints handle really, really well.
Yeah,
really.
But
really
if you don't know how to drive them,
nothing for you.
Yeah, you thinking about horsepower. I'm thinking about double.
That's why they say BMWs for drivers.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking about double wishbone suspension. You know what I'm saying? You worried about the horsepower. I'm worried about what that suspension like though. You know what I mean?
Now, what is that on the table?
This here?
Yeah, that right there. Because you done smacked it. It been sitting there.
This is for you, my brother.
Oh, that's for... So why you ain't... I could have wore that the whole shebang
bro,
bang.
I wanted to give it to you at the end, though. You know what I'm saying?
All good. We ain't at the end, but we close.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that.
I mean, one of the logos.
You
know, Knowbody. That's me in the silhouette.
I'm thinking of a few sneaks I got that can go with that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Appreciate you, brother.
This is for you,
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Already, I appreciate you for having me on. You know what I mean?
Know, man. But one other thing I wanted to ask you. We already got off my cousin, but it's family.
Yeah.
How did you figure out we knew each other?
Cause so you know what I mean. Like I said, with this run that I'm going on, you know what I mean. You know what I mean, he's always been paying attention to me. But the consistency in which I've been on my Instagram and pushing my music and everything else, like I'm in love with my music in a way that I've never been before.
Awesome.
And the work ethic behind me promoting myself.
That's what we all really be watching for.
Really got his attention, and he was like, you know what I mean? Shout out to UGP, by the way. You know what I mean? Underground Posse.
Absolutely.
He was
UGP Nickel 9, by the way.
All the way. You know what I'm saying? He was like, he was talking to me and everything. He was telling me about, you know, all of the resources and everything else. Him and I link, and we did a song a couple years ago. But, you know, we definitely got a track that we're going to be working on soon. But dope. He told me about, you know, just the work ethic and put the grind and how most niggas, you know, get a little bit of a buzz or they get a little notoriety and they rest on their laurels. He was like, yo, the way that you're moving is exactly what, you know, UGP is about. Like, it's not about, it's not about just getting out there or just getting up there and then you just chilling. It's always doing the work. It's always doing this. He was like, it's all about networking. It's all about promoting. It's all about helping. So he told me, he was like, he told me about a lot of things. He told me about people that he got out there on the West, some people in New York, and he was like, my cousin. He's like, my cousin got, one of the most popping podcasts in Philly. I'm like, oh yeah. He was like, yeah, Sipping with Sammie. I'm like, yeah. Wait, that's your cousin? I'm like, wait, hold up, that's your cousin, bro? He was like, yeah, you know him? I'm like, yeah, you just said he one of the most popping podcasts in Philly. Yeah, I know him. I'm like, yeah, I know him.
That's not a given, though, man.
And man, listen.
I appreciate that.
Listen, what's known doesn't need to be said, bro.
I appreciate that, though,
bro. Like, look, you getting nominated for a reason,
man.
You know what I'm saying? Your work speaks for itself, bro. Word of mouth is good, but it's the things that you get from that hard work that speak. You know what I'm saying?
They help direct me. Like, for instance, voice of our generation. I never knew nobody looked at me like that. Wham! Legend Award. Whoever thought I was a legend and I'm just getting started? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's heavy. It's like, it's certain things that just put things in perspective where you don't let it blow you up. It gives you more purpose and responsibility also.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because now if I'm being looked at that way, then I could carry certain things that I might not have thought y'all was ready for. And I got to upgrade some things that I've already been implementing.
And that's, what I love about you and your podcast, right? And everything that you're doing.
Please tell me, because I need feedback.
Listen, you're you, right? But you don't ever stray away from being you. You don't get a big head. You don't have an inflated ego. You're not a fucking narcissist who once they get a little buzz and people start telling them that they're this and that they're that, they start thinking that everybody needs to kiss their ass.
Nah, I can't play that game.
And then they kind of just like rest on those laurels and expect everybody. I don't like
being around ass kisses, but go ahead.
Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like, and they sort of become like entitled. Like, hold on, my nigga. Like, the last big thing you did was like a couple years ago. Like, you haven't done anything to grow yourself, and you're not humble. Your humility is what catches me.
I appreciate that.
You're very humble. You know what I mean? Like, if it's one thing I can't stand, it's a person who it's good to be a little conceited, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It keeps you motivated a little bit. But when you become narcissistically conceited to the point where you feel like your shit don't stink when actually you smell like a barn full of horse feces, you know what I mean? And acknowledging that that this ain't it. I still want to expand. I still want to grow. You know what I mean? Like, those type of people are the type of people that I really like turn my nose up at, and not because I'm bougie, but because why would I want to be around you and grow myself when you don't even want to grow? You want to sit where you at and think that that's cool, and that's not what you're doing here. You know what I mean? That. And I really appreciate that.
No, I appreciate that. And I mean, I used it, and you probably heard me say this before because you've been paying attention. In Philly, we in a privileged position. We around a lot of dope artists that's either from here or always have to come through here at some point or another. And being an artist myself or a media personality or whatever we've had access to the same green rooms, the same stages, the same environments that these dudes that have traveled the world being dope